restorers. I'm excited to get to jump into kind of something that God kind of showed me this morning a little bit, and hopefully it speaks to you as well. It's been something that's kind of mulling in the back of my brain, I think, and will be for probably some time. But it comes from Deuteronomy, and it's Deuteronomy chapter 8, and in verse 11. Well, throughout this chapter, the God is through Moses, as they're recounting the law and the commands that are being given before they enter the promised land. God through Moses says these words in verse 11. He's giving them a bunch of warnings. He's giving them a bunch of things they should live into, things they need to make sure they're not living into. And then he says this. He talks about how, if you do what you're supposed to do, that he'll take care of you. And then he says in verse 11, but that is the time to be careful. Beware that in your plenty you do not forget the Lord your God and disobey his commands, regulations, and decrees that I am giving you today. And it goes on from there. It says, for when you become full and prosperous, and you've built fine homes to live in, and when your flocks and your herds have multiplied along with everything else, be careful. Talks about not becoming proud, not forgetting the Lord. And I think that's such an interesting piece to be just aware of. Most of us, we live in the land of plenty. We may not feel like it at the time because we've got bills and we've got things, but we know where our meals are going to come from. We're not worried about whether we're going to eat today or not. We've got a roof over our head. We've got all these different things that are going on, and things are good for the most part. We live in the land of plenty. We live in the land of full tummies and prosperity for the most part. Even if it might not look like it did before or whatever the case may be, it's still prosperous. And I think that's just a time for us to be able to take and look at and go, okay, this is something we need to be aware of. We need to be aware that those things sometimes lead to a forgetfulness of who God is and what he's doing. Maybe a pride of thinking that we've made it ourselves, that we've done this ourselves, and that he really wasn't a part of this whole thing. And that can lead us away from the Lord. We see that that's exactly what happens with Israel over time, and that eventually that ends up resulting in really, really bad and awful things to occur for them. So let me just encourage you personally, because it's easy to think about those people and these things and stuff like that. Let's take time to think about it for ourselves. We are part of the prosperous, really, especially in a global sense. So how are you making sure that you engage with the Lord? How are you being careful in the land of plenty so as not to forget the Lord, to not become proud thinking we've done it? How are you able to do that and engage with that? I think that's something to gnaw on, to be thinking about today. So hope that helps you. Hope this makes you think this today, and we'll be back at it tomorrow.